Hey folks, we're sitting here with Cas Anvar. We're just going to ask him a few questions. First of all, Cas, we'd like to ask you about this new show you're doing called Nobility. What can you tell us about that?
Oh yeah, Nobility is it's a new sci-fi series. It's in the spirit. It's a 1-hour dramedy. It's in the spirit of Firefly meets The Office. So you've got all the drama, the science fiction, the action of, say, a Firefly, and then you have the very quirky kind of mockumentary style of The Office integrated into that very dramatic science fiction model where you have one-on-one kind of interactions with the camera in a confessional style. So it's a very, very funny and very unique type of science fiction project.
And has this show signed on anywhere? Do you know where we can see that?
It is not yet. We're not yet able to release actually what network it is on, but there will be a release. We're releasing a teaser at San Diego Comic-Con. So anyone who's there is going to get to see actually a piece of the show.
Nice.
So according to your IMDb credits, you always kind of play the villain. Are you excited to kind of transition to the good guy, the protagonist?
It's true. I mean, I do play a lot of villains, but I haven't always played the villain. But you're right. This is the first kind of like heroic leading male that I've played. Although, I mean, I played Dodi Fayed in Diana.
Yeah,
not a villain. And I've done a couple of other heroic things, but this is definitely the first time that I'm going to be kind of like steering the ship, as it were. And I'm very excited to do that because I feel very comfortable in that role, and it's something that I really admire and have always loved as a fan of sci-fi, watching those types of Captain Kirks and Picards and Malcolm Reynolds and all those kind of characters I really love as a viewer. So it's going to be kind of exciting for me to be able to do that from the acting side of it. In the same way I got a huge kick out of playing characters like Altair in Assassin's Creed. Since I'm a gamer, being able to be on the other side of it was a big privilege for me.
Yeah, we were going to ask you about that because you do a lot of voice work on games. And I mean, do you play games as well?
I'm a huge gamer.
Oh, yeah. Nice. That's cool.
I'm like big into Assassin's Creed and Halo and Skyrim. And I played The Last of Us last year. Awesome game.
Yeah, Last of Us.
Beyond Two Souls. I love all the RPGs, Fable and Zelda.
Yeah.
All those big Diablo.
Yeah. Are you plan on continuing to do a lot more voice work, or are you kind of?
I love voice work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it as long as the work is there. I'm gonna love to do it. I'd love to get into cartoons and stuff like that, which I haven't had a chance to do yet.
And how do you feel about doing voice work versus being in front of the camera, like with
very
Nobility?
different, liberating, and more difficult. It's like I get to do characters I would never do in front of the camera. Like Halo, I play Lieutenant Dalton, who's like a redneck, a Midwestern kind of cowboy drill sergeant, which is not me. But I get to play him, and I would never play him in front of the camera, as well as characters that I would be more close to, like Altair is someone I could totally play in front of the camera, because it's very similar to me. But then at the same time, it's very difficult. Voice acting is very difficult because you're not working with the other actors very often. You're doing the full motion mocap a lot of the time. You got balls all over you. You have no set. You have helmet cams and mics all over you, and it's a very challenging environment. And you've got to very often have to have a voice on to make the character different than you normally. It's rare that I get to do a voice character where I'm actually using my own voice. You know, because I get my voice work by all the different characters that I do. So then you've got mocap, you've got suits and balls, you've got cameras and microphones, and you've got a voice on, and you're doing all the physicality, and it's not just a microphone in front of you. Very challenging. So you've got liberating, but challenging. So sometimes it's nice to be in a film and a television show, and you've got the other actor there, and you're interacting with the other actor, and just do whatever you want, and it's good.
Now, you come from a theater background, is that right?
Yeah, I came from a Shakespeare background.
A Shakespeare background.
Classically trained, ran a Shakespeare company for decades, and came down here.
This question's a little off the wall, but I just wanted to know if you could go back in time in a phone booth and bring Shakespeare back to present day, and you have enough time to show him one film, one movie, what movie would you sit and watch with him?
I honestly feel like Shakespeare is the Tarantino of our time. Shakespeare was not stuffy or storied or old and dusty in his time. He was controversial. He was provocative. He was challenging the public. He was making fun of the royalty, the government. And so, I think and he was he was the best at what he did.
Yeah.
Nobody has written stories like 500 years later. Do you think Arthur Miller or Sam Shepard or all the greats of our time, do you think 500 years from now those plays are going to have... I mean, nothing against them. But I don't think they're going to be here in 500 years. For some reason, Shakespeare is still here.
Right.
So he was the best of the best. He was the best at what he did, and he was provocative. So I would want to show him something in that spirit, in that vein, a Spielberg or a Tarantino.
Which Tarantino film would you go with? Do you go Pulp Fiction, or do you go like Reservoir Dogs? I mean,
Shakespeare did all of the Pulp Fiction. Shakespeare did Titus Andronicus. He did what was the German movie?
Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards. That's Macbeth. That's King Lear. That's any of his great tragic shows. Like, I think he would love any of those things that are great entertainment, great stories, great characters, and also strong message. I think he would love. My God, Jamie Foxx.
Django.
Django
Unchained.
I think he would love it.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
All right, well, sadly, we're being told to wrap it up. But, Cas, thank you so much for talking to us.
Pleasure,
we really
man.
appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, this is Cas Anvar, Altair Ibn Ahad from Assassin's Creed Revelation. You're listening to 801fm.com. Don't forget, follow the creed and be a good assassin.